We want to start off with a reminder that we are not doctors. Before you make any changes or try something new, always consult with your doctor and medical team first. Chronic illness can vary from patient to patient, so it's always best to consult with your own doctor for what is best for you.
Hello, welcome to IBD Determined. I'm your host, Mason Harvey, and I have Crohn's disease.
And I'm your host, Michelle Harvey. I'm Mason's mom, and I speak as a caregiver in this podcast. Today's episode is number 4 in season 2.
Wow.
So yeah, that's pretty cool. We're that far into it. So already. Yeah. Today's kind of a special one.
It's a really special one, actually.
Yeah, it's a fun, it's different. It's kind of exciting. We're excited to introduce this and tell you guys all about it. And this is the first time we're even publicly talking about it. I haven't even mentioned it on social media or anything yet, but that'll change this week. I'm going to start promoting it a little bit. So we're here to tell you about something brand new that we've decided to do, and we're kind of excited about it. So
started it too. So the idea started when I was
we'll take it way back really quick, because this isn't where the idea actually started.
This wasn't
but
where it started. This is
where it led to, I guess.
So when I was probably in what grade?
I don't remember now.
That's not necessary.
You're definitely young though, and I know a lot of people out there are going to recognize this.
What we did was we had a flat Stanley, and we sent it to a friend, and they got a lot of cool pictures with it in Arizona. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, it also went to Florida.
Yeah, to Florida too. It was a really cool one.
And so Flat Stanley, if you're not familiar, it's based on a book.
Yes.
And you take a cutout of Stanley, and you send him to somebody else.
And you send him to a friend or family.
Yeah. And from what I remember, it's like the person would take Stanley with them to different places. And so that way you could kind of see what he was doing. So it's kind of fun to see that happen. And then a couple weeks ago, we got
a similar project, which was from a kid in Scotland.
Yeah. And so we got a request.
Scotland. That's pretty cool.
A friend was like, hey, I have this character. It's from a student in Scotland. And she's like, would you be willing to be the next one in line to do this? And so I was like, okay. So it's like old school. It's mailed to you. You get the original that the child in Scotland created. And I believe they're in 2nd grade. Yeah. So I think that's what it was.
Pretty good drawing.
Yeah. It's really cute.
Yeah.
And so I was like thinking, I'm going, well, how cool would it be though to have some representation for kids who are facing, health challenges like IBD, Crohn's disease, and stuff like that. And I thought, how cool would it be for them to be seen and have something that's similar to these projects, but have it be a Reggie cutout. And since we have the book, and I thought this might be kind of a cool project to do.
Combo.
Yeah, because I think it's always exciting to me when I find out, I always love seeing our book sales, where they happen. And it's always exciting, there's one in, in the UK, there's one in Canada, there's one
in Britain.
Yeah. So it's always and I always wonder, who got this book and what's their story? And it's just something I've always thought it'd be cool if we could do something where people could show their book and where they live. And so this is kind of similar in that concept. There needed to be something to highlight all kids, all pediatric health challenges, because I feel like only certain ones are highlighted. You only see certain ones in the news, in campaigns, and there's only certain pediatric diseases or chronic illnesses that are discussed. And it's probably because they're larger percentages of the population. Yeah. So more people are familiar with it. But we think that, all kids
should be represented.
Yes, they should. And any kid fighting IBD, any kid facing a health challenge, some kind of issue, they deserve to be seen and to be heard. And it's also important to show for fundraising.
Yeah.
I mean, we go to the Children's Hospital. We're at ours every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
And that's kind of crazy, right?
You see all different kinds of kids. You'll see some in a wheelchair. You see some with a feeding tube. all different kinds of
Just
people,
yeah, and some you see you're not entirely sure
what they have.
what they're facing.
Kind of like me, I
Right,
have an
someone may look
invisible
at you and
disease.
be like,
What does he have?
what does he have? And so I feel like these kids are always kind of curious. It's usually they're pretty quiet. They're with their parents. It's not like something you walk in and ask like, "Hey, what do you have?" or "What are you here for?"
Yeah, like, what are you in the hospital for? What did you
Yeah. And I wonder, and Mason and I talk about this, and his dad were always thinking, these kids have these incredible journeys and these challenges that other kids without them have no idea.
no
Like
idea what they
we
go through?
didn't
Yeah.
when we
I didn't know what I would go through. I didn't think
no,
it would be anything like what I've gone through.
not at all. And it was like, we had never spent so much time in a
Mhm.
hospital. And I think if you spend a little bit of time in there, you'll realize that these kids are warriors and
You can really open
they're
your
it
eyes.
really, really does. And so most of you aren't going to be spending time in a children's hospital
No.
like we do. And and that's okay. That's
Yeah.
good. That's good. But I don't want these kids to be forgotten and I
Mhm.
don't want them to just kind of remain invisible because I feel like they deserve a spotlight for maybe they want more research done for whatever they have and maybe they just don't have a voice. They don't have a platform because maybe it's a very small percentage that has what they have or so it's like how do we draw attention and give these kids the respect and also make them feel like they're part of a community. I think that's important too, right? Like, just you knowing other kids are out there and you see other kids, it makes you not feel so
Alone.
alone, which is a big deal. So we were trying to think of a way, and we're thinking, well, hey, this project could be really, really cool in that sense, where all of these kids would be included and would see other kids and not just from the San Diego Rady Children's Hospital we're at.
Maybe
I
all
mean,
over the world.
all over the world.
This
And
is really cool.
yeah, which would be really exciting. And how neat would it be to see Reggie in the pictures with them? So first we start off thinking like IBD would be really great to draw awareness to and to the importance of funding and research, using it like that. And then Mason was like,
But what if someone else wanted to do it?
I was so happy because that's something I completely agree with. And then we started thinking too, it's like, well, then there's adults out there too who, I'm
So let's
like,
include the adults too.
yeah, like the adults don't. So this is also something that adults can do too. So it doesn't have to just be kids. And I think that'd be fun. I think that would be fun. Just because Reggie is a character in a children's book doesn't mean this has to be just for kids. But
Can be for anyone.
yes, but because we definitely want kids participating and giving them that platform. And so this is kind of where the start of the Reggie project
Begins. Not
begins.
Flat Reggie, the
No.
Reggie Project.
Yeah, we are not going to be like a ripoff of Flat
Oh,
Stanley.
what is Flat Stanley? We don't know what that is. It's
Yeah,
Flat
no,
Reggie.
that is
Yeah.
totally a
It's the
different
Reggie
thing.
Project.
Right. So we call it the Reggie Project. And so we have the Reggie Project on Instagram, the Reggie Project on Facebook. And so we already have those. And that's where we plan to put the social media just on those two platforms for right now. Reggie's kind of become like a symbol. I mean, in our house, I'm
Yeah,
not
it's
saying
in our
like
house.
he's not that
He's
famous.
he's gonna become a symbol for the world.
Right.
No, that's
But
not
he's
gonna
kind of
happen.
like a symbol of, like hope and
Yeah.
determination and courage that comes with a tough diagnosis. And so I think what better character to be with these kids in their time of whatever treatment, procedures, or just whatever they're doing in life. I think Reggie would be a great
Mascot.
yeah, like
Yeah.
little mascot to go with them. And I think it's pretty cool that he is out there raising awareness and he's, we're doing good with them. We're making change happen. And at the same time, also, he provides comfort. And I think that was really important that this character provides comfort to kids who need it because they may have instant recognition that this is a character that is sick too. This is a book about a character
They
that
might
is going through
recognize it from a
something.
book.
Yeah,
From the book.
right. This character is like them
Mhm.
and he's facing a challenge. And so I think it's kind of a cool situation. And I think some of these kids would be excited because we have a giant stuffed Reggie. If
Yeah. We
it's
do.
like, yeah, I should have had it here. I mean, you
Oh,
can't, if you're listening to us, you can't see it
no.
anyways. But if you check out our Instagram at T Might Be Determined, it'll be in a lot of pictures where Mason is getting an infusion. And it's a great like pillow. It's
It
a
is. It's pretty
huge,
big.
yeah.
It even has a cheesecake and everything.
It's so cool.
Yeah.
And so it's like, oh, but we can't get those to all the kids. And they're way too expensive to sell
Yeah.
because it was well over $100 to have this made. There's no way we could make these and market these. And so it's like, well, how do we get Reggie out there without, if you can't afford a book, or if you, how do we do this? And so there's a way that we can do that by doing this project. And that's what's kind of exciting. So yeah, because otherwise it's really expensive
Yeah.
to get a bunch of plush
Reggie's everywhere.
Reggies everywhere. Yeah.
That's a lot
And
of money.
yeah, and so that's kind of like where this idea also was growing, because there's just no way to mass produce Reggies.
No.
And so,
There's only one Reggie.
right, there is. I think that every kid counts with what they're going through. And I think a lot of kids, which is totally understandable, a lot of parents are uncomfortable sharing their kids' diagnosis because that's a private matter. And that's also what we've considered in this too. So this is totally volunteer and how you feel, what you're okay sharing and putting out there. But I think it's important because I think because the pediatric community doesn't share as much as like an adult community does, that they don't, these other kids like don't realize there's other kids like them as much unless they're in the hospital and see those kids.
I went to the hospital and I realized I had Crohn's disease. I've never heard of Crohn's disease before, and never heard of a kid that had Crohn's disease.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, am I like the only one with this?
Right. And so it's like, what if there were,
but you kind of feel like that.
It's like, what if there's a site that you could go to and like you could have pulled up and looked at all these kids and you're like, whoa, they are like me.
We can all relate.
Yeah, I think that's a pretty cool thing to do. So let's tell you how it's going to work. There's going to be two options. As of right now, this is how it is planned. It could change. We will kind of be fluid with it and see how it goes once we launch it.
Changes can be imminent.
And so we are going to have the first option, which is going to be easy to do. And I will have Mason show you in just a second what this is going to look like. So you're going to go to karmatudecandles.com. And we use this because we already have this web domain. It is linked up to multiple accounts. So we thought we would just use this for now. That could change. But as of this recording, it's karmatudecandles.com. You'll see a link in the top right corner where it says you can download your Reggie printout. And we'll attach that link to in this episode. We will have a link for you guys if you want to print it out. So I will have Mason go ahead and show it to you now. If you're watching us, you'll be able to see this.
You'll be able to see this is the Reggie Project Reggie. And it has instructions on it. It has the cutout lines so you know where to cut it. And so yeah, you can cut out Reggie and take him to an appointment. Oh, Reggie fell. He needs to go to an appointment.
Yeah.
he's
Reggie.
As you can take him to an appointment, treatment, or just like maybe to Disneyland or on a trip or to the store or somewhere fun like that.
Yeah.
And take a picture with him.
So that's what, like Mason said, the instructions are on there. This will be on karmatudecandles.com and where you can download that. Like Mason said, cut it out. You'll see on there, there's an area where it shows you where to cut it out, and take Reggie with you to an appointment, to a treatment, or somewhere you enjoy. And really, I think it doesn't really, I think a lot of times we see kids doing well out there, like doing fun things. And so that's great to include, but
take it to places you enjoy, which include the hospital.
Yeah,
oh wait, you don't enjoy that?
Yeah, oh. I know. No, but it's like important too to show the other side. So you're totally welcome if you're like, I don't want to focus on the hospital. I want to show it going with me to soccer practice. I want to show it with me at Disneyland. If you want to, I think a great thing to do is take it with you to an appointment or a treatment.
To take it to the
right. And so people can see what these kids are doing aside from regular life and show that other side of it. And I think that's where we raise awareness when we do that. So totally up to you guys, but that's the idea. And after you get your picture, you can message it to the Reggie Project on Instagram or the Reggie Project on Facebook. And from there, we will post it onto our social media. And if you want, you're also welcome to email it if you don't have those accounts, but you wanted like it on there, you can email us at karmatudecandles@hotmail.com as well. Some of you might be like, well, do I just send a picture? Should we have them include information? What do you think?
Yeah. Well, maybe where Reggie is, maybe what Reggie is doing. Like if you're at the hospital, you can say, we're here with Reggie going to get a shot or a infusion, just to be clear on maybe what you're doing. Or
you should probably include your name.
Yeah.
And again, these are suggestions because you can remain as anonymous as you want. If you just want your picture on there, that's fine too. And another thing too, if you don't want your face, sometimes parents don't want their kids on social media. You can take like a close-up of you holding it, and it can be like a close-up of Reggie. It can be him in the setting. and maybe, or a picture of like you holding it out. You can hold it in front of like the hospital, hold it in front of something, but with you off to the side so you're not in the picture. So that's okay too. That's all right. But the main thing is to have Reggie in it so we recognize that it is part of the Reggie project. It's with you or without, however you want to do it, is totally fine. But we'd love to have like your name, your diagnosis, if you're comfortable sharing that, where you're from, or like Mason said, where you're at in the picture, if that's better. If you want to say which children's hospital you're at, which, if you're an adult, which hospital you're at, or just what city, like San Diego, like we are. You can say, from San Diego, California. Because like that'd be cool to like have like a map and see like
so like
where he
they
is.
are, like if Reggie's in the UK or somewhere on a vacation or something fun like that. Maybe Reggie will be in Hawaii.
Take him on vacation. That'd be really fun.
He might not like to swim in the water, but
no, but there's like so many cool ideas you could do with it. And it's like as creative as you guys want to get. Shout out if somebody knows someone like Mr. Beast, and because he has Crohn's disease. I know some of you listening probably already know that. Some of you may not know that, but he's, well known in the IBD world. And so even if someone like that, if you get someone like him to take a picture with it and we could post it, that'd be really cool. Highly doubt that's going to happen, but just throwing it out there. Just throwing it out there.
If it does happen, congratulations.
You will gain recognition. There's no prizes.
No.
Unlike
bragging rights.
We don't have the money Mr. Beast has. We just have a lot of thank yous to say that happens. So smiles and thank yous and congratulations. So your name, like your diagnosis, where you're from. I think it'd be really cool if you could put something on there about like what you'd like to change about, or what you would like to see the change with your diagnosis, what you'd like to see in the future with your diagnosis, and something like that. So it may prompt people to fundraise. So maybe you'd say, I'd like to see a cure. Like if it's Crohn's, maybe that's what you'd like to see. Maybe you'd like to see a treatment that doesn't involve a needle. So no more colonoscopies. You want your hospital to get an ultrasound that doesn't require you to have a colonoscopy. So something like that. And again, I'm talking about IBD because that's what he has, but this could be for anything out there. So we would love to hear what you're passionate about and what changes you'd like to see. The main thing is we would like to really just kind of like light up our Instagram page and Facebook page with your stories and your pictures. So it's somewhere you can go instantly. And if you've been diagnosed with something, you can go to this page and see other kids and feel like
you can relate to them.
And
you're not the only one.
And I think that's very important. And I think that's been the message, like when we wrote this book with Reggie, is we wanted these kids to know they were not alone, and something adults could share if they have this with their own kids and say, read this and here's some insight into what I'm going through. So
or any disease.
So I think it's important. And I think Reggie would be a great mascot for that because he kind of represents that part of the population that is invisible and
isn't really recognized.
Right. So we need to get some recognition.
We need to get some recognition out there.
I want to get back because I almost forgot that there is the second option here.
Oh, you almost forgot.
I want to discuss that too. One of the other things before I go on to the next one is if you want to also post on your social media, just make sure if you can tag us and use like a hashtag, like hashtag the Reggie Project or something like that. And so that way we can find it and we can also add you to our social media. So you're more than welcome. It doesn't have to just go onto ours. You can share it on yours. That would actually be even better because maybe somebody else who follows you may also see this and think this is a great idea. I'd love for my my child or my relative to do this and to represent. So feel free to do that. The other thing that we are going to do with this, because this is kind of like an old school option, but I think it's a lot of like Flash Stanley, and it's like a lot like we just did for this other child in Scotland. And this is the one where we will mail you an actual Reggie. And we're having some printed right now, so they'll be on like a card stock. They'll be a little thicker than just paper. But here's the catch. So we would send you one, but you have to have like say you have IBD. We'll send you one, and then you would need to take your picture, post, and everything like that. But then you would take that Reggie, put him back in the mail, and send him to somebody else that you know. And so kind of like a chain.
It'd be a chain of Reggie pictures. Right.
And it doesn't have to be someone else with IBD. It can be someone else. Maybe a family member in another area, or someone sick and someone else might have IBD. That'd be perfectly cool too. You can do it for anything. So we would start it and send it to you, but then you need to send it to somebody else and make sure that they're willing to send it to somebody else. And so it'd be really cool to kind of follow that chain and see where it ends up. Because like for us, the one we're doing that came from Scotland. I mean, we're here in San Diego. It came to us from Arizona, and it's next heading to Australia. So yeah, that's where we're sending it. Yeah, so we're sending it to somebody in Australia next. Nice. So that's what that would be really cool. So if you're interested in doing option 2, we will send you one, but you need to keep it going is the deal. The circulation. Yeah, I don't want to be the one to break it. No. So don't break it. Don't be that person. But I thought it'd be kind of cool because everything is done online so much now. This is all on social media. But I'm like, what if we threw in something like I might have when I was a kid, or even, when you were a kid with Flat Stanley, the way that was done. Send it through the mail. So yeah. So we're going to have that option too, but we just ask that you continue it, and because we don't have like the money to just like send these out to everybody. So otherwise, so if you can download your own. Yeah, if you're not planning on participating in that sense, just download your own with the other option. But we'll have all this laid out for you. I'm going to have this at the Reggie Project on Instagram and also on Facebook. So I'll have instructions on there. And we'll make sure that you guys have everything you need to know exactly what you're doing with whichever option. It'll be very simple. It should be very easy. We don't want complicated. No. Definitely don't. And so some of you also listening right now, you might also be like, well, this sounds really fun. I don't have any health challenges I'm facing, but I would love to show support for all these kids and adults. And so what you're more than welcome to do is you can still do it. You can still do it. Yeah. Print out a Reggie, take a picture, with you doing something you enjoy, anything. Instead of like where someone else tells their diagnosis, maybe you're supporting somebody with the diagnosis. You support others. Yeah, you can show that support and say, I'm here, or I'm here to support all of the kids and adults on this page. And, but you're more than welcome to also promote, say you have a family member facing a diagnosis and you'd like to raise some awareness. You can post Reggie with you in support of that person. So you don't have to have a health challenge to participate. That is the main, that's the main objective, to raise awareness for that. But as long as you're, it's only right, it's only that. So as long as you're willing to raise awareness and be supportive, that's what this is about. Mm-hmm. The other thing is, here's the option I was talking about with the book. So some of you may have a Reggie book, and I've always thought this would be cool anyways, like there to find out where it is. So you're more than welcome to take a picture with your Reggie book and, show who you're supporting, or if you do have a diagnosis, you're welcome to do that with the Reggie book instead of just the printout. So, because Reggie's right on the cover, so you're more than welcome to the book, hold up the book and be like, "Hey, Reggie. I have the book." Yeah, I've got the book, right? That you have the book. Yeah, and then let us know where you are, because I'd love to know where that book is. And then share your diagnosis if you want, or share maybe why you bought the book, or why Reggie is an important figure to you. You could do that if you want to support other people on the page and show off Reggie. So if you have a book, you're more than welcome to. And if you have something else with Reggie on it that you want to share, be creative and do that too. And so we would love to just have this page be flooded with support and kindness and compassion. Reggie pictures. Tons of Reggie pictures. I hope that we can get a lot of people to participate. I don't know. There may not be one picture. It'll be Mason's for sure. Because we will be doing it. Yes. He's going to be taking a picture we already did a picture with Reggie with somewhere he enjoys. And so we'll have that. And then we are going to be doing one at his infusion center as well. So it's another place I enjoy. I mean, yes, I enjoy it because it helps my health. You don't have to sell it that hard. It's okay. We know it's no, but you're good about it. You're good about it. But yeah, we're planning on bringing Reggie so we can show a treatment. And so we'll be posting our pictures and kind of kick off the Reggie project. And that'll happen probably before this show airs. So by the time this airs, you can go ahead and go look at the Reggie project on Instagram and Facebook, and it'll be there. So you can go ahead and see that example. And then we hope to see others joining us. And you can always contact us too if you have ideas, or if you're like, hey, am I allowed to post this? Can I participate with this? Or you're more than welcome to. You can comment here. You can email us, carmentudecandles@hotmail.com, and you're more than welcome to send it however you like. Message me on social media as well. So hopefully soon we'll just have a page full of lots of warriors and supporters, all of that. I think that'd be such a cool community to have. And I think it'd be such a cool tribute to Reggie, because he's so important in our family. He was such a cool character, and I would love to see some of you out there getting some awareness raised for something important to you as well. So with that, that is going to conclude our podcast for today.
Today's episode.
Yes.
Our episode for today.
Yeah. And hopefully you guys are excited to participate. And so you can follow the Reggie Project on Instagram if you'd like, and you can go ahead and start watching and see what pops up. You can watch us on Team I Be Determined on Instagram. Give us a follow there. That's going to follow our personal journey and Mason's as well, and everything fun we're doing in life. So you're welcome to follow us on there. And for podcasts, keep listening to us wherever you're listening at and enjoying it. You can hear us on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and now YouTube as well, where you can listen on a separate podcast. Yeah.
So you can listen on YouTube, and you can also watch on YouTube. And if you want to watch it, make sure to check out I Be Determined on YouTube. And if you are watching it on YouTube, make sure to like and subscribe. And if you want to be notified every time we post a video, make sure to hit that bell. And have we been getting comments?
We have.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, but we also are getting a couple more subscribers. So that's exciting too.
Yes, thank you if you're subscribed.
Yeah, because I know we watch things and don't subscribe, so that's okay too. But it's always exciting when we see like somebody actually did it. We're like, wow. Yeah. So we're kind of excited. So thank you for that. So that's exciting. So that's going to basically wrap up the intro to the Reggie Project. We may do another podcast on it depending on how it goes and if we change anything up, because again, this is all new to us. We'll see how it goes, see what needs to be changed. And if so, we'll just do another podcast and let you guys know.
The Reggie Project may change.
Yeah, but for now, we have two options, and hopefully it goes over well.
Yes.
So, all right, guys. Well, thank you for listening, and thank you for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next episode
and podcast.
Yeah. All right, guys. Have a great day, weekend, evening, morning, whatever.
Vacation, road trip,
whatever you're doing.
Yeah, whatever you're doing.
Day, work day, any of it.
Yes.
Make it a good one.
Yes.
All right. We'll see you guys next week.
Bye.
Bye.
We hope you will stick around, tune in, and reach out to us with your own journeys. We are excited to give you an inside view of what it takes to be a caregiver and what it's like to be a patient.
And most of all, we hope you'll maybe be able to apply something you hear on here that might help you in your own life. Sometimes life changes, and it's all about how you handle the journey.